Carl, we get a lot of calls into support, people wondering when they have a loan processor, how many loans do they need to be getting in each month before they need to add another loan processor?
Teresa, that's a great question. We do get that, and we get that by, like, on my processor, my loan partner, my loan officer assistant. How many files can they work per month, right?
Right.
So at first glance, you think, well, the more they do, the less overhead I have to pay, and the more profitable I'll be. It actually ends up being exactly backwards from that. Let's say, and I'll give you that exact number here in just a second, but let's say you have a processor that's processing 30 files a month, and I have a processor processing 15 files a month, so half as many. Which do you think can give better service to our customers? The one that's doing 30 per month, or the one that's doing 15 per month? Who can give better service?
15 per month, obviously.
Of course, yeah. So that's one thing we got to keep in mind. So for me, to answer your question, I find that perfect. There is no perfect answer, but I would say, give or take, I like to be somewhere between 15 and 20 a month. Like right around that 18 mark is my favorite spot. Here's the reason why. Keep in mind that our processors are talking to our borrowers, our co-borrowers, our listing agents, our buying agents, our title companies, the insurance agent, the attorneys, and all these are people that deal with people who are looking to buy and refinance homes. And so when this processor is having conversations with them, giving them updates on the file and getting pay stubs and doing their day-to-day routine job, ordering the survey, setting up the home inspection, we want that person to have enough white space on their counter, enough bandwidth that following the scripts that we give them can ask for more business. So if you talk to our loan officers, some of the loan officers we're coaching in the Freedom Club that are, we call it the 2 Comma Club, where they make over $1 million of personal W-2 income a year closing loans. At our last Freedom Club meeting, I asked them, what's the number one way most of you bring in most of your new loans? Surprisingly, it was my team asking for the business from the borrower, the co-borrower, the listing agent, the buying agent, the title company, the insurance company, the home inspector, like everybody they talk to. In other words, their team brought in at least as many loans as the loan officer did.
Right.
And if we're trying to save a couple nickels by having our processor process 30 files, that processor, he or she they don't want any more loans coming in, right? They're like here, yeah. And so we want to make sure that they have the bandwidth that they want to help us bring in more loans. We give them the scripts to use when they talk to those people, and the little bit of money you might be saving on your overhead from your payroll, you're losing way more by not having them people help bring in an extra loan, where you make an extra $2,000-$3,000 every time they bring in a new loan for business. Does that make sense?
It does.
And the other thing I found is that if we max our people out and try to squeeze every drop out of that, orange, so to speak, that will burn our people out. And then when you burn them out, it does a couple things. Number one, it's very uncool for them, right? We want, like you and I work together. You want me to be happy, I want you to be happy, right? You're not running me at 150 miles an hour, and I'm not running you at 150 miles an hour. So we want to make sure that our team has a good experience and that they like working with us, so they work with us long. I don't want you ever to leave, right? And number one, I'd miss you. And number two, then we'd have to. There's not another Teresa, right?
Right.
So I'd have to find somebody as best I could that would attempt to step into your shoes, which would be very hard to do. And all the time I'd be spending doing that, I'm losing out on not getting new business too. And so if we can keep the team happy, if you keep your team happy, having them run at like 70 to 80% peak, I would say, having them so they have bandwidth to ask for more business, they'll stick longer. You don't have to train as much. You'll close more loans because they'll help you bring them in. You just got to give them scripts. As you're looking at this page, I try to keep these to like 4 or 5 minutes. There'll be a link somewhere on this page that if you look, if you click that link and schedule a quick call, I'll give you the scripts that my loan partners and my processors and my assistants use to ask for more business when they're talking to the listing agent, the buying agent, the borrower, the co-borrower, and the title company. We'll be happy to give you those scripts. Don't run them at 1,000 miles per hour. It's uncool. They'll burn out, and they won't have the white space to ask for more business. So kind of a long a long and so because I was on a group page just the other day, and they were bragging, well, mine does 30, mine does 40, mine does 50, and in that case, whoever does more is losing.
Exactly.
Whoever does more is losing. Another thing to keep in mind is like if we're charging say $500 a month as a processing fee, as soon as our processor is closing like 8 or 9 files a month, maybe 10 files a month, they're free.
They're paying for themselves.
They pay for themselves. So there's no reason to stretch that to the limit. And bragging that my poor processor, he or she is closing 50 loans per month, is certainly not doing them a favor. It's not doing you a favor either, I promise you that. You're losing business because of it. So anyway, click the link and we'll get those scripts to you.